I picked up the book Ammie Come Home by Barbara Michaels after reading one of the later books in the series. So this story was about a young widow called Ruth and her niece Sarah, a graduate student at Georgetown University who comes to live with her. And I guess I would typically consider this a traditional sort of ghost story where you have these people who move into an old house that turns out to be haunted. And it has a lot of the classical, like, supernatural ghost story elements, like cold spots in the house, people having weird dreams, hearing voices, and just generally starting to behave strangely. Ruth herself starts to notice that something is really wrong after a seance at her house where the medium actually turns out to be extremely scared, and the fact that the medium herself is frightened sort of convinces Ruth that there's genuinely something going wrong that's not just her imagination. Well, and the fact that she doesn't want to believe that she might be going crazy. So I kind of liked how this story built up its mystery with the characters searching through the history of the house, which ties all the way back to the American Civil War, and sort of trying to figure out step by step exactly like who the ghost is or like why the property might be haunted. And this information is what they hope will help them figure out what to do, like whether they can exorcise the ghost or whether they should sell the house and just move away, and in general how to help keep people safe. Unlike the later book that I read, which was Stitches in Time, I think the supernatural elements in this story were a lot more obvious. Like, it was much more of a genuine evil spirit haunting and like dark things happening type of story, as opposed to the really subtle magic that was in the later one. I guess that would be like, I enjoyed it because I kind of like traditional ghost stories, but I think it wasn't quite as good as the later book for me because it lacked some of the more everyday life elements. So, for instance, the Stitches in Time book went into things like a business that was being run, whereas in this story, characters like the anthropology professor who comes to help cancels all his classes and moves in to try and figure out what's going on. Like, since there's a lot more danger, like potential danger involved, there's also, I guess, a lot more of a put the rest of your life on hold to figure things out kind of feeling about it, which is fine. It's just a different kind of story, and I think does make it maybe appeal to me a little bit less than the later one, but overall I still found it really enjoyable. And if you kind of like the ghost story, haunted house kind of thing, like, it wasn't particularly scary and it was very well done. So I did enjoy it and will be reading the next one.